Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to more ZMC. This is my second channel where I'm going to talk more about football, video games, comic books, some movies that I can't fit into my daily schedule on my normal channel. And so I just created another channel just for some other content I want to talk about, but I can't fit into my regular schedule. And today we are going to be talking about the 2022 fantasy football season for me. This year I was only in one league with my grandpa and my brother and my friend Avery. And here's the league that we had right here. Hold on. Let me go all the way back to, shoot, my bad. Let me go all the way back to week 1. That's 7. Alright, there we are. We're at week 1, and then my cat comes up to pet me. But anyways, or I come up to pet my cat. But anyways, here's the league we got here. We got, let's go to standings. We got my brother, who's Team Justin Field. We got my Grandpa Tom, who is Papa Tom 1. We got my friend Avery, who is the GOAT. And then there's me. And you see the standings right here. This is how the season ended. But we also could not find extra players in time for the season. So we ended up having to go with 2 computers, which I think was a really stupid thing. I did not want to do it. But we ended up going with 2 computers, so that's what we did. And as you see, they did get last place, and they had to play for the toilet bowl. But basically, we're just going to start talking about the season and just give a brief recap of what we did. So I played my grandpa in the first week, and that was really fun. So let's look at my team that I had starting off. And as you see, I lost, which sucked, but here was my team that I drafted. I drafted Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback. He was my quarterback of the year. And then I got Fournette and Zeke as my 2 running backs. I got CeeDee Lamb. I had Keenan Allen. I had Travis Kelce. I had DK Metcalf. I had Josh Jacobs. I had Matt Prater. And I had the New Orleans Saints defense. Here's the thing that really confused me, though. Like, I had such a better team now than I ever did. Like, why would I pick up Keenan Allen? Why wouldn't I play the Saints defense? Look at this other defense I had. I had the Bills defense who got 17 points. You know how many points I needed? Yeah, about 17 points. So if I put them in, I would have started out the season 1-0. And it's just crazy considering how old my lineup is here compared to what I had by the end of the season. So yeah, the clear highlights for me was Patrick Mahomes. He did great in this game. Travis Kelce did good. I don't know why I got rid of Kelce at the trade deadline, but he just outmatched me in a lot of things and ended up having me lose my first ever game. And so I believe, come on, go to the next week. I started out 0-5. I believe. Hold on, is this week 5? Yep, I started out 0-5 until I got my first win. 0-5, isn't that crazy? I know, I sucked this season. I could not win a game. I don't know why. But we go to week 5. I played my grandpa again. And this time I actually won. Of course, I had Patrick Mahomes, who didn't do too great. That was the week that he lost against the Bills. And then I had Miles Sanders, who screwed me over in the playoffs. You'll see that. But if I did not put in Miles Sanders, I would have won. But we got Miles Sanders, Ramondre Stevenson, the big GOAT here. He was one of the best running backs in fantasy football this year. He's definitely a must-add for me next season. He's just so good. We also got Gabe Davis, who was also quite a surprise if he did good in the games. Courtland Sutton, I ended up dropping him after this game, I think. David Njoku, DK Metcalf again, Curtis Samuel, Tyler Bass as a kicker was a really good kicker. And of course, I stuck with the Bills defense until I managed to get the Cowboys defense. But this was my first win, and this was a pretty good first win too, because he played Tom Brady when he was playing Pittsburgh. I was just so excited that I finally got a win, and like, his team was pretty good here. My team really just outmatched him. And then I won the next week, so that made me 2-5. And then, again, I go on a massive losing streak to lose 8 games. I lost 8 games all season. I was 2-8. I was down in the ropes. There's like a 3% chance I made the playoffs. And then at the trade deadline, I pulled an Aaron Rodgers squad. Look at this. So I did a lot the trade deadline. I kept Mahomes. Well, I did trade earlier in the season. I picked up Jalen Hurts. He didn't do nothing for me. He got me like 20 points a game when Mahomes was getting 30. And you see here, Mahomes didn't do very great against the Rams. It's because they handed off to Pacheco a lot. And after this game, I did pick up Pacheco. But anyways, after this, I did not lose a single game for the rest of the year until the playoffs. I had Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, Ramondre Stevenson, Chris Olave, Devontae Adams, George Kittle, Devontae Smith, Mark Andrews, Jake Elliott, and the Cowboys defense. I traded for a lot of players. It was just insane. It was crazy, and I just built a goated team, especially with Devontae Adams and Devontae Smith. They were just two players that really just worked it for me, especially to get me to the playoffs. As you see here, there's a win here, there's a win here, and there's a win here. And, well, no, week 15 was when our playoffs started. But that got me to be 6-8. It was crazy. The wild story here was in this week right here, the two computers that never adjust their lineup, it was they had like, Team 5 had like a 2% chance of winning this game. And look where that got them. They killed him because Lamar Jackson got injured. I was praying the night before. I was like, please, let Lamar Jackson break his ankle. I really just want to make the playoffs. And that's what happened. Well, he didn't break his ankle, but he got injured. And look at this. They won. I am so happy that they actually managed to win because that's what got me to the playoffs. So as you see, I finished the season 6-8. Before we start talking about the playoffs, let's talk about these other teams. And so my brother, 10-4, best team in the game because he had Josh Allen. And when he didn't have Josh Allen, he played Justin Fields. They both did a really great job. My brother also really relied on Nick Chubb, Brian Robinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, D-Hop, CeeDee Lamb. I don't see how he could be 10-4. All he has great was a quarterback. But you see in the standings, he was first place. Second place was my Papa Tom. He was 9-5. His squad here, pretty good overall. He switched quarterbacks every single week from either Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert, and you see here that he played Tua, which was a really dumb decision of him. I told him to because it was Houston. That's my bad, but, I mean, they just took him out because they killed him so much. But he had a pretty good squad here. He did go on a massive losing streak to barely make the playoffs. Well, not barely make the playoffs, but he didn't win a single game until the last game of the season, and then he eventually won that game, and he was in the playoffs. He played my friend Avery, and we'll talk about the playoffs here in a minute. Speaking of my friend Avery, there's 3 teams that were 6-8, me, him, and Team 5. Avery did not have that great of a season at all anyways, but it's shocking because he had Derrick Henry, Jalen Hurts, Travis Etienne, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Travis Kelce, Gabe Davis, T. Higgins, Justin Tucker, and the Eagles defense. He should have been undefeated. This is an undefeated squad. If he just had this squad all week, this should have been undefeated. But how did he lose against my brother who had Taylor Heineke? Like, Avery had just such a god squad. I guess they just had a bad week. But I really do feel like he should have been number 1 in the league. And then there were the 2 computers. No one really cares about the computers. So in the playoffs, 4 teams make the playoffs. I believe week 15 was the first week of the playoffs. And so here's the playoffs. These 2 teams played again for the Toilet Bowl, to where you see Team 6 was the Toilet Bowl champion and ended up being in the 5th spot on the season, while Team 5 loses the Toilet Bowl for the 2nd season in a row. Last year, this was only our 2nd year of doing fantasy football. Last year, I was the champion up until the playoffs, where I lost the first round. I can't win a playoff round. Look at this. Look at this. I almost won. It was such a close game. I played Mahomes, Jacobs, Miles Sanders, who screwed me over. Look at this guy. I don't know what it did there. Look at Miles Sanders here. He sucks. Look at this. He got me 28 points and 31, and I didn't play him in either of those weeks, so I was like, I was playing Chicago, of course they're going to do good. And if Miles Sanders didn't play, if I played Isaiah Pacheco or Adam Thielen, or probably just, Isaiah Pacheco in his place, I definitely would have done better. But my team just didn't have a good week. Devonta Smith, Ramondre Stevenson, they did great. Patrick Mahomes did great. The rest of my team didn't really. Well, he played Josh Allen in that awesome game that he played versus Miami. And he also had players like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Evan Ingram and DeAndre Hopkins, CeeDee Lamb, who had a great game. It was just a rough matchup for me, and I ended up being the 4 seed, while my friend Avery beat my Papa Tom, because my Papa Tom just had a bad week, and he had Jalen Hurts, he had Derrick Henry, Travis Etienne. His absolute God squad just absolutely annihilated my grandpa because look at the squad here. It's just crazy. So with me and my grandpa eliminated, we played for third place. Third place goes to him. I lost again. I didn't even care. He destroyed me this game. It was good for him. He needed a win here. I got absolutely destroyed. I ended up being the 4th seed of the year. Not very good for me, and it just kind of sucks. For the championship, Trevor Lawrence, because we all know that Jalen Hurts got injured, so we had to play Trevor Lawrence. He's in trouble for the championship. He's against Josh Allen. They won. I don't know how they won. Jalen Waddle had a massive week. Travis Kelce had a massive week. James Conner had a massive week. Everyone had a massive week, while my brother, all he had was Josh Allen. Basically, nobody else really did all that great, and what really hurt him was the -4 points on his defense. So that's how our season was. The champion, the fantasy king of 2022, was D-Goat, my friend Avery, and the toilet. Well, I don't want to edit. What's this doing? Oh man, how do I cancel? There we go. Sorry, it was messing up. That champion was Team. Yeah, the worst team in the league was Team 5. I was a 4 seed. I didn't have a very great year. Next year, I'm going for more weapons, and I'm not going to draft Patrick Mahomes in the first round. Mahomes, he did good. He's just not that great of a fantasy quarterback. But anyway, subscribe to this second channel if you want to see more football content. I'm going to rank my albums, like all my favorite bands' albums, here in the next couple of days. And I got a couple reviews coming, some book reviews, a video game review. It's just going to be really fun next couple of weeks on this channel. This is just a channel where I talk about random stuff, but I want you guys to subscribe, and with that said, just subscribe for my second channel, and thank you for watching. Peace out.